Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Text number 13 onwards. So his guru, Shanda and Amarka, they took Prahlad Maharaj back to Gurukul and they were asking him, how and where did you meet all this Vaishnava? Who's coming to give you these instructions? They are our enemies. So things like that. And Prahlad Maharaj is now giving them the instructions that who's our enemy? Who? Why do we talk in terms of friends and enemies? So text 13. Sa esha atma swapareti buddhibhir duratyayanu nirupyate bhuyanti tadvartmani vedavadino brahmandayo hi esha bhnati me matim. Persons who always think in terms of enemy and friend are unable to ascertain the supersoul within themselves. Not to speak of them, even such exalted persons as Lord Brahma, who are fully conversant with the Vedic literature, are sometimes bewildered in following the principles of devotional service. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead who has created this situation has certainly given me the intelligence to take the side of your so-called enemy, who's not the enemy, but you think is your enemy. so same Supreme Lord has given me that intelligence. Prahlad Maharaj admitted frankly, my dear teachers, you wrongly think that Lord Vishnu is your enemy, but because he is favorable towards me, I understand that he is a friend of everyone. You may think that I have taken the side of your enemy, but factually, he has bestowed a great favor upon me. But those who are demons or envious, they cannot understand and they cannot take this kind of knowledge. Yatha bhramyatayo brahman swayam akarsha sannidho tatha me bhidyate chetash chakra panera yadrichaya. O Brahmins, teachers, as iron attracted by a magnetic stone moves automatically towards the magnet, my consciousness, having been changed by his will, is attracted by Lord Vishnu, who carries a disc in his hand. Thus, I have no independence. It's a nice example Prahlad Maharaj is giving. Just like as an iron is attracted towards magnet automatically, so similarly, this is how I'm being attracted to Krishna or Lord Vishnu, who is carrying a disc in his hand. For iron to be attracted by a magnet is natural. Similarly, for all living entities to be attracted towards Krishna is natural, and therefore the Lord's real name is Krishna, meaning he who attracts everyone and everything. So Krishna means Sarva Akarshati iti Krishna. The typical examples of such attractions are found in Vrindavan, where everything and everyone is attracted by Krishna. The elderly persons like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Devi, the friends like Sridhama, Sudama, and other cowherd boys, the gopis like Srimati Radharani and her associates, and even the birds, bees, cows, and calves are attracted. The flowers and fruits in the garden are attracted. The waves of the Yamuna are attracted, and the land, sky, trees, plants, animals, and all other living beings are attracted by Krishna. This is a natural situation of everything in Vrindavan. So that is Vrindavan. And when everybody is attracted towards Krishna, means they are also attracted towards each other, not in a inimical way or a competitive way, but in a friendly, loving way. That is Vrindavan. That is spiritual life. And like Prahlad Maharaj is explaining enemy and friend, you think of in terms of enemy and friend, and Prahlad Maharaj wasn't thinking. So that is actually Vrindavan consciousness. We are so much into material consciousness, under material modes of nature. only if Prabhupada has some mercy, we have some chance of going back. Just contrary to the affairs of Vrindavan is the material world, where no one is attracted by Krishna and everyone is attracted by Maya. This is the difference between the spiritual and material worlds. Hiranyakashipu, who was in the material world, was attracted by women and money, whereas Prahlad Maharaj, being in his natural position, was attracted by Krishna. In replying to Hiranyakashipu's question about why Prahlad Maharaj had a deviant view, Prahlad said that his view was not deviant, for the natural position of everyone is to be attracted by Krishna. Hiranyakashipu found this view deviant. Prahlad said, because of being unnaturally unattracted by Krishna, Hiranyakashipu therefore needed purification. Of course, from Hiranyakashipu's point of view, Prahlad Maharaj needed purification. As soon as one is purified of material contamination, he is again attracted by Krishna. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tadparatvena nirmalam. In the material world, everyone is contaminated by the dirt of sense gratification and is acting according to different designations, sometimes as a human being, sometimes a beast, sometimes a demigod or tree, and so on. One must be cleansed of all these designations. Then one will be naturally attracted to Krishna. The bhakti process purifies the living entity of all unnatural attractions. So bhakti process, by us engaging in the service of Krishna. So slowly from the service, which is followed by rules and regulations, following the rules and regulations, only it comes to the stage of where one is naturally or spontaneously want to serve Krishna. So means those unnatural attractions are all gone away. When one is purified, he's attracted by Krishna and begins to serve Krishna instead of serving Maya. This is his natural position. A devotee is attracted by Krishna, whereas a non-devotee, being contaminated by the dint of material enjoyment, is not. This is confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita. Yesham to antagatam papam. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. One must be freed from all the sinful dirt of material existence. Everyone in this material world is contaminated by material desire. Unless one is free from all material desire, anya bhilashita shunyam, one cannot be attracted by Krishna. Or we can say when one is attracted by Krishna, definitely all the other material desires slowly they go away. So the process is devotion service, only and only devotion service. And what kind of devotion service? Uninterrupted and uncontaminated. Pure devotion service. Shri Narad Uvacha, Etavad Brahmana Ayuktva Viraram Mahamatihi Tam Sanni Bharsya Kupitaha Sudino Rajasevakaha. The great Saint Narad Muni continued. The great soul Prahlad Maharaj became silent after saying this to his teachers, Shanda and Amark, the seminal sons of Shukracharya. These so-called Brahmins then became angry at him because they were servants of Hiranyakashipu. They were very sorry, and to chastise Prahlad Maharaj, they spoke as follows. The word Shukra means semen. The sons of Shukracharya were Brahmins by birthright, but an actual Brahmin is one who possesses the Brahminical qualities. The Brahmins, Shanda and Amarka, being seminal sons of Shukracharya, did not actually possess real Brahminical qualifications, for they engaged as servants of Hiranyakashipu. An actual Brahmin is very much satisfied to see anyone, not to speak of his disciple, become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Such Brahmins are meant to satisfy the Supreme Master. A Brahman is strictly prohibited from becoming a servant of anyone else, for that is a business of dogs and Shudras. A dog must satisfy his master, but a Brahman does not have to satisfy anyone. He is simply meant to satisfy Krishna. That is a real qualification of a Brahman, because Shanda and Amark were seminal Brahmins and had become servants of such a master as Hiranyakashipu. They unnecessarily wanted to chastise Prahlad Maharaj. So they were Brahmins by birth only, not by qualities. Otherwise, there's no way they could have chastised or given punishments to Prahlad Maharaj. Because the Brahmins' qualities we have seen in Bhagavad Gita and other places in Srimad Bhagavatam, wonderful qualities a person who claims to be a Brahman should have. So these two sons of Shukracharya, they were not really Brahman, and Prabhupada said, one who is dependent upon others for money or whatever is like a dog or Shudra. It cannot be Brahman, cannot be Kshatriya, cannot be Vaishya either. Aniyatamare vetram asmakam yashaskaraha kulangarasya durbuddhesh chaturtho asyodito damaha. Oh, please bring me a stick. This Prahlad is damaging our name and fame. Because of his bad intelligence, he has become like a cinder in the dynasty of the demons. Now he needs to be treated by the fourth of the four kinds of political diplomacy. So political diplomacy means Sam, Dam, Danda, Bhed. Or Bhed and Danda. So fourth kind means a Dand, punishment. In political affairs, when a person disobediently agitates against the government, four principles are used to suppress him: legal orders, pacification, so Samdam, the offer of a post, or finally, weapons. When there are no other arguments, he is punished. In logic, this is called argumentum ad baculum. When the two seminal Brahmins, Shanda and Amark, failed to extract from Prahlad Maharaj the cause for his having opinions different from those of his father, they called for a stick with which to chastise him to satisfy the master, Hiranyakashipu. Because Prahlad had become a devotee, they considered him to be contaminated by bad intelligence and to be the worst descendant in the family of demons. As it is said, where ignorance is bliss, it is folly to be wise. In a society or family in which everyone is a demon, for someone to become a Vaishnava is certainly folly. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj was charged with bad intelligence because he was among demons, including his teachers, who were supposedly Brahmins. So just imagine the position of Prahlad Maharaj, one devotee among all these demons, and not just little bitty demons, very powerful, very strong demons. So how faithful and how determined he must be in his knowledge, in his chanting, in his bhakti. How strong he must be. And as Prabhupada says, where ignorance is bliss, it's folly to be wise. It's just a mistake if you're wise, where everybody is in ignorance. The members of a Krishna consciousness movement are in a position similar to that of Prahlad Maharaj. All over the world, 99% of the people are godless demons. And therefore, our preaching of Krishna consciousness, following in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, is always hampered by many impediments. Because of the fault of being devotees, the American boys who have sacrificed everything for preaching Krishna consciousness are charged with being members of the CIA. Okay, so here Prabhupada mentions about American devotees, but also in Russia or in China or other parts of the world, devotees have been given so much of harsh treatment. In Russia, they've been tortured badly, put in the jails, and that too in Siberia, cold place. But they had so much of faith, determination, that even the Russian government just couldn't do anything. Of course, many devotees lost lives also there, but they could not break them. Moreover, the seminal Brahmins in India who say that one can become a Brahmin only if born in a Brahmin family charge us with ruining the Hindu system of religion. Of course, the fact is that one becomes a Brahmin by qualification because we are training Europeans and Americans to become qualified and are awarding them Brahminical status. We are being charged with destroying the Hindu religion. Nonetheless, confronting all kinds of difficulties, we must spread the Krishna consciousness movement with great determination, like that of Prahlad Maharaj. In spite of being the son of the demon Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad never feared the chastisements of the seminal Brahman sons of a demoniac father. So that is the position of Prahlad Maharaj. He never feared the punishments or chastisements of these Brahman teachers, so-called Brahman teachers. Daitya Chandan Vane, Jato Ayam Kantaka Drumaha Yanmulon Mul Parashor Vishnor Nala Ituar Bhakaha. This rascal Prahlad, of course, I'm not saying that, this is in the shloka, has appeared like a thorn tree in the forest of a sandalwood. To cut down sandalwood, an axe is needed, and an axe is needed, and the wood of the thorn tree is very suitable for the handle of such an axe. Lord Vishnu is the axe for cutting down the sandalwood forest of the family of demons, and this Prahlad is a handle for that axe. So they are saying these demons, they are like sandalwood trees, so nice, giving so much of nice scent and aroma all over. But there are always some thorn trees in the middle of those sandalwood trees, and the wood of those thorn trees act as a handle for that axe, and that axe is used to cut down all the sandalwood trees. So they're saying Lord Vishnu is the axe, and this Prahlad is the wood for that, or the handle for that axe, with which Lord Vishnu is going to cut down the family of demons. Thorn trees generally grow in deserted places, not in sandalwood forests, but the seminal Brahman Shanda and Namar compared the dynasty of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu to a sandalwood forest and compared Prahlad Maharaj to a hard, strong thorn tree that could provide the handle of an axe. They compared Lord Vishnu to the axe himself. An axe alone cannot cut a thorn tree. It needs a handle which may be made of the wood of a thorn tree. Thus, a thorn tree of demoniac civilization can be cut to pieces by the axe of Vishnu Bhakti, devotional service to Lord Krishna. Some of the members of the demoniac civilization, like Prahlad Maharaj, may become the handle for the axe to assist Lord Vishnu, and thus the entire forest of demoniac civilization can be cut to pieces. So it just Shanda Namark thought that demons are sandalwood trees. But Prabhupada said all the demons are like thorn trees and they need to be cut down. But the method of cutting down is not killing anybody. It's to kill their demoniac consciousness and bring forth the divine consciousness, because every soul is ultimately divine. It's not demoniac. But the consciousness becomes demoniac. The consciousness becomes Maya conscious. So I want to enjoy myself separately from Krishna. So that has to change. Iti tam vividhopayer bhishyan starjanadipi prahadam graya masa trivargasyopapadanam. Chanda and Amark, the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj, chastised and threatened the disciple in various ways and began teaching him about the paths of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, dharma, artha, and kama. This is the way they educated him. In this verse, the words praradam grayam asha are important. The words grayam asha literally means that they tried to induce Prahlad Maharaj to accept the paths of dharma, artha, and kama, religion, economic development, and sense gratification. People are generally preoccupied with these three concerns without interest in the path of liberation. Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad Maharaj, was simply interested in gold and sense enjoyment. The word Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means refers to soft cushions and bedding on which people enjoy sense gratification. The word Prahlad, however, refers to one who is always joyful in understanding Brahman. So Prahlad, it comes from the same word as Ahlad or Srimati Radharani, who's the Ahladani Shakti. That means the joyful, the joy, the bliss. So Prahlad is always in bliss. Prahlad means prasannatma, always joyful. Prahlad was always joyful in worshipping the Lord. But in accordance with the instructions of Hiranyakashipu, the teachers were interested in teaching him about material things. Materialistic persons think that the path of religion is meant for improving the material conditions. The materialist goes to temple to worship many varieties of demigods just to receive some benedictions, to improve his material life. He goes to a sadhu or so-called swami to take advantage of an easy method for achieving material opulence. In the name of religion, the so-called sadhus try to satisfy the senses of the materialist by showing them shortcuts to material opulence. Sometimes they give some talisman or tabiz or blessing. Sometimes they attract materialistic persons by producing gold. Then they declare themselves God, and foolish materialists are attracted to them for economic development. As a result of this process of cheating, others are reluctant to accept a religious process, and instead they advise people in general to work for material advancement. This is going on all over the world, not only now, but since time immemorial. No one is interested in the fourth step, which is moksha, liberation. There are four principles: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. People accept religion to become materially opulent. And why should one be materially opulent? For sense gratification. Thus, people prefer these three margas, the three paths of materialistic life. No one is interested in liberation, and Bhagavad Bhakti, devotional service to the Lord, is about even liberation. Therefore, the process of devotional service, Krishna consciousness, is extremely difficult to understand. This will be explained later by Prahlad Maharaj. The teachers Chanda and Amarka tried to induce Prahlad Maharaj to accept the materialistic way of life, but actually their attempt was a failure. So they wanted to teach Prahlad Maharaj this dharma, artha, kam, because that is the way demons live. Ultimately, everything should be calm, sense enjoyment. And if they can't enjoy the senses, then they either get angry, they fight, or they want to do some more work so that they can enjoy the senses. But Prahlad is on a different level. He's always happy in engaging or carrying out his devotional service. So he just doesn't want to get into dharma, artha, and kama process. But these days, everybody is trying somehow or other. They want money, money, money. Whether religion, dharma, if they have to adopt, they will do that. And like Prabhupada said, they will go to some guru and ask for some tabis to for their health problems or some blessings, so the business will flourish, or the job, they get more money in the jobs, or the stock market will flourish and they will get more and more money, and they'll think, from more money I'll give some donation, and I'll get some name, and people will know that I'm a big donor. Ultimately, it's all for sense gratification. That's all it is. And sometimes they do some Gupta Dan also, because it is recommended that you should donate without telling anybody, but somehow or other they do tell somebody, because they want some prestige and honor and respect in the society. And this is all demonic. And we more about demons we can learn from 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ishwaram aham bhogi, aham shaktivan, aham sukhi. They just want everything for themselves. It's going on all over the world in every species of life, not just human beings, every species. But the devotees, they're always completely opposite. Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't want to learn all this, and he just wants to be happy in his devotion service, in his chanting and remembering the Lord. That's it. But since he is a son of the king, son of Hiranyakashipu, his gurus, they want him to learn the demoniac way. If he was just an ordinary, simple boy from poor parents, nobody would have bothered. Okay, you go, get out of here, do whatever you're doing. But here, Prahlad Maharaj, he's a son of Hiranyakashipu. So the gurus, or so-called gurus, they had to give him attention. They had to teach him. So this is Krishna's way of doing things. Hiranyakashipu, Shanda and Namark, and all his other demoniac nephews and demoniac sons and demoniac associates, demoniac followers, they would be so happy just among themselves. But what does Krishna do? He puts a son like Prahlad Maharaj in that family. Okay, now we are talking. Now let's see how you handle this one. So something will always be there. Some thorn will always be there in our lives. That's why the material life is full of miseries. And it's miseries for everybody. Rich, poor, white, black, Indians, Americans, Russians, everywhere there are miseries. So all we have to do is, in this world of misery, be like Prahlad, always be blissful in our devotional service. And that will just make living in this material world also, it will make us very satisfied, very blissful. Otherwise it's all misery. So anyway, I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram Prabhupada.
Hare
Krishna.